Hey, it's Chris and Dodette. We're taking a break from the studio and we're headed to Binders to see our friend Howard at an incredible art store in Atlanta, Binders Art Supply. We're going to do a couple product reviews, see what happens.
What's the difference in this one and the green, the blue and the green?
Well, I think they're both top of the line products. Lumograph by Stadler Mars is blue and Cansen's green, or the Faber Castell by Faber Castell. It just has Castel. I think they changed their name years ago. But in my mind, it's still the same. But the green pencil and the blue pencil are really high quality pencils. But here's the difference. Okay, so if I need a certain value, and I was looking for a chart. So right here on the Faber Castell chart, you see how it goes from light to dark. Okay, I need the F pencil to be hard enough to ruin the paper, but soft enough to get a certain darkness. But the Lumograph, the blue one, is hard enough to ruin the paper, which I want to do, but it's not soft enough and it doesn't go dark enough. And therefore it lacks what I need. I need it to get to a certain value and it won't do that. So when I go to anything that has a B in it, B means black, it's going to get black. And the higher the B, the blacker it is. So when I go to the very next pencil, it's not hard enough to flatten the paper. It gets too dark and too soft. So there's too big a jump in my value range because it's about developing control with your hand. So when it comes to certain pencils, I love this pencil and I love the 3B. The rest of them, I think they're all the same. I don't think it matters whether I use a 6H here and a 4H here because they are the same. A 4H and a 6H in these companies will make the same value. But there's a niche that I'm looking for one thing.
I don't usually recommend the boxes just because I teach kids classes and we use the F pencil, usually the green, or the HB,
How come you like the HB more than the F? You think the kids aren't as strong?
The HB is
A little softer,
and
a
I
little darker.
explain to them, with the kids classes, the F releases less charcoal, and the HB releases a little bit more charcoal, so that they can go ahead and use that. And then the 3B and the 4H is what I recommend for.
They don't carry the range. It's either all Bs, like this is all the blacks, and it doesn't do any of the hard ones. And I need it to be light, medium, and dark. And the box is just all black or it's all soft. And there's other things that have to come in mind. And I've never looked at pencils this way, but I look at paint kits this way, like watercolor kits and things like that. When they sell a lot of the paint kits, I've always been under the suspicion that the kit is selling colors that they don't really move. And then once you get good enough you want to learn, you're now going to buy the other colors. So they just made 2 sales instead of 1 sale. And I don't know if pencils do that or not, but if I was to buy a kit, even this kit is quite complete, but it's 2H. Well, I need a 4H or a 6H. So I find this kit a little short, and this one is going from HB. It's too soft. It's not dark enough. So I'm just not a big fan of the kits.
Yeah. And me too. I like picking out my pencils, but the groups, if you're going to get a group, you pick out what is closest to either it has HB or F in it, and it has a couple of the others, 3B, 4B, something like that in it. So the groups are good for especially students that are just starting out.
So like right here, you have these Lyra graphite pencils that are monstrous in size. You see the point difference size. So that would make a different thick mark, different breadth in the mark, more of a heavier mark. It could be exciting, it could be traumatic, it could be heartfelt. So there's a thickness there that you could look at that you would like.
And what about the pencil sharpeners?
We did a review on my favorite sharpeners. But I will say this, okay? I don't see, when you're in my studio, I should open one up and do it right here on the floor. Okay. Yeah, that's what I should do. I should open it up and just sharpen this and leave it on the floor. And we should film this because that's what people do when they come to our studio. I vacuumed 8 months ago. I don't want to vacuum again. And when there's no top on that, I can't, these are moms who come in my class and they sharpen on the tabletop, and then to clean up, they brush it on the carpet. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. So if you're gonna do that, at least get some kind of sharpener with a top on it.
With a top.
That holds the container, the fillings.
A container that holds the shavings, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you recommend any of the pencils that are
I'm a big fan of the pencils. So how does the pencils work?
Pencils,
I actually like the quicker clickers. And I know I shouldn't because they got higher brands and everything, but the lead doesn't break when I'm drawing. So I'm a big fan of the quicker clickers. So how do I use the pencils? So when I have a painting that is very light, like a light yellow ochre color, and I want detail like on a portrait, and I don't want that graphite all over my canvas and then make my color dirty, I tend to get the thinner sizes. So like what you're looking for, like this is a 7mm and this is a 5mm. I'm going to use the 5mm for the drawings and the canvases that need to be a fine line and leave very little behind. But other than that, the reason I carry these and use them all the time, and it would only be on vacation. So on vacation, I'd use the 7 because it's an everyday drawing thing I can do everything with. But at home in the studio, when I have a light painting, I use the 5. The rest of them, I don't really use the high-end pencils. That's really for architectural people, illustrators, people who use mechanical pencils all the time. So you are looking for thicknesses.